Okay, wena, uske ignore happy, or you can say bye-bye to your job. Now, please, call Ayanda Gumede Williams. Her ex-stepmother's attorney is here to see her.
You're representing the street of, a former Mrs. Gumede.
Yes, and it's Gugu Mabaso.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our first review of Law, Love and Betrayal Season 1, which is now streaming on Showmax. The show follows a tough lawyer from the township who finds herself embroiled with the rich family-owned Santon firm, Gumede and Associates, which I'll refer to as GNA. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 1 opens up as we're introduced to Gugu Mabaso in court as she wins a petty case which she got paid little to nothing for. As she exits the courtroom, she catches a glimpse of the high and mighty GNA lawyers, including their boss, the prominent Mr. Gumede, who was recently divorced. An inspired Gugu tracked down Mr. Gumede's ex-wife and convinced her to hire her as her lawyer, promising to get her an increase on her divorce settlement. Back at her humble Soweto home, while Gugu prepared for her big deposition with GNA, we are introduced to her supportive grandfather and boyfriend, who was preparing for a catering proposal. The following day, Gugu arrived at GNA and the law firm was filled with sleazy attorneys led by Mr. Gumede and his daughter, Ayanda, who was gunning for senior partner at the firm. Ayanda was charged with handling her father's divorce settlement, and when the deposition initially began, she had Gugu on the back foot because Gugu accidentally switched her notes with her boyfriend's catering proposal. However, Gugu was able to think on her feet, citing a loophole in customary law that gave Mr. Gumede's ex-wife a right to half of his assets. Ayanda brought her father into the deposition, and after an intense negotiation between Mr. Gumede and Gugu, Mr. Gumede settled to double his wife's allowance. Gugu got her biggest payday yet and was in the mood to celebrate with her boyfriend, but he wasn't as enthusiastic after their mix-up ruined his catering proposal. He went home while Dudu claimed that she was staying behind to do some paperwork. However, the bold Dudu returned to Mr. Gumede's office, demanding that he hire her at the firm as an associate, promising to bring a big land rights case that she was assigned with her. The episode ends with Mr. Gumede looking impressed once again by Gugu as he contemplates her proposal. Episode 2 picks up at GNA with the arrival of the Mokoena clan, who are confused over the handling of their case. To Ayanda's dismay, Gugu joined them in the boardroom as Mr. Gumede revealed that she would be joining GNA and will be leading the Mokoena case. After the meeting, Ayanda confronted her father about his new hire. However, Mr. Gumede shut her down and ordered her to assist Gugu on the case as she adapts to life at GNA. Ayanda and Gugu did not get off on the best foot, but were united in their efforts to help the Mokoena clan win their case against the DNP property developers who planned to build a mall on the land. Gugu and Ayanda were assisted by Trevor, Ayanda's obnoxious ex-husband, who is an advocate and still holds favor with Mr. Gumede. Despite their efforts, the Mokoena case did not turn out to be as strong as the GNA lawyers initially hoped. Soon after they started work on the case, the Mokoena clan was locked out of the disputed land as Gugu and Ayanda scrambled to get a court order allowing them back in. Gugu was able to obtain proof that members of the clan had been buried on the land. However, evidence was found that crushed their case. An official letter from the 70s indicating that money had exchanged hands between the developers and leaders of the clan. With the GNA lawyers on the back foot, the property developers made an offer of 2 million rands to settle the matter. Gugu was defiant. However, Mr. Gumede advised his lawyers to accept the offer and settle the case. Gugu and her team reluctantly accepted the 2 million rand settlement on behalf of the Mokoena clan, who were happy with the compensation. Once the case was over, Gugu met up with the other GNA lawyers for after-work drinks, where they helped her get over the regret of not doing more to win the case. The episode ends with the Mokoena clan representative, Mr. Mokoena, Mr. Gumede, and the head of the PNG developers sharing a drink, revealing that they were working together behind the scenes. Very strong premiere from Law, Love and Betrayal. It was easily the best premiere to a new show that I've seen in a while. Production, cast, script, everything was flowing. Even the name of the show is genius. Law, Love and Betrayal, LLB. It's a very well conceptualized show. At first, I questioned whether the cast was too big, but I believe the main characters have already been fleshed out really well in just 2 episodes. It was definitely giving Suits was some Zanzi vibes, especially in the beginning, and I think it's a good dramatic representation of the current justice system. They touched on a petty case, civil cases, and a customary case. This show is really letting the law shine in the story. I especially love the scenes where Gugu used the law to defend herself and other people. The show is not trying to be too smart and is more relatable than I expected. Law shows are not easy to execute, but this one is doing all the right things so far. I love the dynamic between the humble Gugu and the entitled Ayanda. The two ladies really shine together on camera. I don't want to mess up their names, but I do want to commend the executive director and directors responsible for this very clean production. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't, and we'll be back next week with another review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.